Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. This is the math lesson for Tuesday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. I am working on page 703 and 704. If you don't have it in front of you, go ahead and grab a pencil and grab your math homework, and we'll just go ahead and do it together. So the first thing I want to do is review what we've been talking about. We've talked about two-dimensional shapes, and we've talked about three-dimensional shapes. The thing I need you to remember about two-dimensional shapes is they are flat, okay? They don't have, you can't hang on to them, they don't have any volume, they're not solid. So they're just flat shapes. They have sides, and they have angles, and they have vertices, okay? Three-dimensional shapes. So let me go back, I'm sorry. For example, a triangle would be a two-dimensional shape. A circle would be a two-dimensional shape. Rectangle, parallelogram, those types of things. All the ones you're really familiar with typically are two-dimensional shapes when we talk about shapes. And then when we get to three-dimensional shapes, those are the shapes that have vertices, they have edges, and they have faces, okay? Just to review, this is my cube. The face is the flat part. The edge right here is where two of the faces come together and make that straight line. The vertice is where three edges, 1, 2, 3, come together and make a vertice or a point, I'd like to say, okay? So that's your three-dimensional shapes. Let me just talk a little bit about the difference between a cube and a rectangular prism. The cube, you're going to notice, now here's the cool thing. They both have, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. Same thing, top, bottom, side, side, back and front, 6 faces. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vertices here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vertices on a rectangular prism. And they have 12 edges, okay? So it seems like they're the same pretty much. Vertices, faces, edges, they have the same. But if you look at the two of them, do you see the difference? That's right. A cube, all of the faces are exactly the same shape. They are all squares, okay? So all of these faces are exactly the same shape. Remember, the faces are the flat part. If you look at the rectangular prism, look at this face. It's the shape of a square, and if I turn it sideways, here's a flat side or a face. Is it a square? No, it's a rectangular, which is why they call this a cube and this a rectangular prism. So those are basically the things that you want to remember as we're reviewing this. And we're just getting, just still kind of working on some simple recognizing and drawing shapes, so you'll be ready for 3rd grade. So go ahead and take a look at your worksheet. It's page 703. It looks like that. The very first thing you see is you see 3 statements, A, B, and C. And then next to it you have a box, so a word box, okay? Or a word bank. You're going to use each of those words only one time. So you have 3 sentences and 3 words. Once you use a word, cross it off so you don't use it again. So this one says, triangles have 3 sides. Now you're going to go to the word bank. Do some triangles have 3 sides? Do no triangles have three sides? Or do all triangles have 3 sides? So pick your word. You're going to write it right here and then cross it off. Letter B, triangles have sides the same length. So do some triangles have sides the same length? Do no triangles have sides the same length? Or do all triangles have sides the same length? Pick your word. You're going to put it in here and cross out the word you chose over here. And then the last one, hopefully it works with the word you have left. It says blank triangles have 4 angles. Do some triangles have 4 angles? Do no triangles have 4 angles? Or do all triangles have 4 angles? So that's your number 1. If you need to stop and think about it or listen to it again, go ahead and do that. And when you're ready, you can go on to number 2. So number 2 says, it's kind of like a riddle, so listen carefully. Ross draws a shape with exactly 6 angles. Now, it's a 2-dimensional shape, so I want you to think about what you know about 2-dimensional shapes. So if a shape has 6 angles, how many sides does it have, and how many vertices does it have? Interesting. Go back and think about it. If we have a triangle, which is a 2-dimensional shape, if it has 3 sides, that means it has to have 3 vertices and 3 angles. That's what we know about 2-dimensional shapes. They have the same sides, angles, and vertices. So Ross draws a shape with exactly 6 angles. Which of these statements, there are 6 statements, which of these are true? Now maybe one is true, maybe all of them are true, but I want you to fill in the circle next to the one that is ones that are true. So letter A says, if it has 6 sides, it is a pentagon. If it's true, fill it in. Letter B, it has exactly 6 sides. So if it has 6 angles, does it have to have 6 sides? If it's true, fill it in. Letter C, it has exactly 5 vertices. So if it has 6 angles, how many vertices does it have? If you think it has 5, fill it in. Letter D says it is a hexagon. Okay? If you think a shape with 6 sides is a hexagon, fill it in. Letter E, it cannot be a quadrilateral. Think about what the word quadrilateral is. Quad means how many? That's right. Quad means 4. So the statement says it cannot be a quadrilateral. And then F, it could be a triangle. So if it has 6 angles, could it be a triangle? If it could, fill it in. Number 3, we have this shape, kind of an interesting shape. The first thing I want you to do is count the sides. Okay? I'm not going to count them with you. I think you can count them. And it says which are true about this shape. So look at the shape. Which is true? It is a pentagon. If that's true, fill it in. So think about how many sides, angles, and vertices a pentagon has. Is it a pentagon? Letter B, it is a quadrilateral. We just talked about what a quadrilateral is. Is that a quadrilateral? If it is, fill it in. Letter C, it has 5 vertices. Go ahead and count the points where the sides come together. Are there 5 of them? If there are, fill it in. It has 3 angles. Okay, so go ahead. If you know how many sides and vertices this shape has, you should know something about its angles. And letter E, it is a hexagon. So if you think this shape is a hexagon, fill it in. Okay, when you're finished with that, let's move to the back. It's number 4. You're going to sort the shapes. Okay, so you have 2 columns. It says cube and not a cube. So all you have to do is know what a cube looks like. And I'm going to show you again. That's a cube. So letter A, you're going to look at it and you're going to say, is letter A a cube? Well, let's look at this. Do they look the same? No. So you're going to go to this column and write the letter A, because that means letter A is not a cube. So any shape that's a cube, you just list the letter on this side. If it's not a cube, you list the letter on this side. So all these letters, A, B, C, D, E, and F, will be on this chart somewhere, either under a cube or not a cube. Okay? Number 5, Marisol stores blocks in a shoebox. Is a shoebox usually a cube? So this is typically what my shoebox looks like. Is that a cube? Yes or no? And then explain it. So you have to write, yes, it's a cube because, or no, it isn't a cube because. And then the 6th one says Math Journal. You're going to draw a shape that has between 3 and 6 sides. Okay, so you could draw a shape that has 3, 4, 5, or 6 sides. use these dots to help you draw your straight lines. And then tell me over here, what's the name of the shape you drew? And then explain how you know. All right? So you get to choose a shape that has 3, 4, 5, or 6 sides. Draw it, write the name of the shape, and tell me how you know it's that shape. Okay? And that's today's math lesson. If I went too fast, go ahead and watch it again. Or you can stop and replay, whatever you need to do. If you have questions, please let me know. Your parents can get a hold of me on Remind. You can get a hold of me on Seesaw. Just let me know. Okay, great job, everyone. Bye.